I was drowning financially, I was spiritually jaded, and I almost walked away. I poured all of my savings into this project. My contractor abandoned me. They took my deposit and disappeared. I looked in the mirror and was like, God, this is too heavy. I was not leaning on him for prayer. I was very frustrated. I was angry. I was drinking. I was doing everything but looking for him for answers. What's up, friends? Welcome back to The Grind, where we'll be diving into the unfiltered truth of entrepreneurship and keeping God at the center of it all. I'm your host, Lilliana Matos. I'm a real estate entrepreneur, a mentor, and a person that believes that God is in control of your life and your pathway. So, with that being said, today I'm going to share with you a story about when I almost called it quits and let go of it all. I was drowning financially, I was spiritually jaded, and I almost walked away. It was one of the most hardest times of my life, but it was also a season where my faith got tested and I had to really reconnect with God and seeing me through this time. So, like I mentioned on my last episode, I had a lot of pivotal success when I decided to lean into God's purpose for my life and take a leap of faith and start my real estate journey. So it didn't end there. Because of my success with real estate and the power of EXP at the moment, I brought it upon myself that I wanted to open up my own office. Considering that I was driving back and forth to Anaheim and I really loved the company that I was working with at the time, I was waiting for somebody to open up an EXP branch here in Los Angeles that I could attend locally, but nobody was doing it. And instead of waiting for someone to create the table, I decided to open up my own branch, create my own table, and invite people to the table. I poured all of my savings into this project, and at the same time, I had been on a journey to buy a home back in my hometown so I could be near my parents. I wanted to purchase and put on Airbnb as an investment opportunity, but also had to have my home away from home when I go visit family. I was on this journey to find this home for about a year and a half, and it just so happens that I closed on that home at the same time that I opened my branch with EXP. So when I tell you guys the financial commitment that I had embarked on all at one time was not something that I had genuinely planned for. I thought it was a blessing and I thought I could manage at the moment, and I did for a short amount of time. But unbeknownst to me, and as you all know, the roller coaster ride of the real estate market could really take you for highs and lows. So it was just 3 to 4 months after opening up my branch. I was in the middle of remodeling this home back in New Jersey. Interest rates skyrocketed, and no one wanted to buy a home. And here I was in this new office with no homes that really could be sold in the middle of a project that, might I add, my contractor abandoned me, took advantage of me. They took my deposit and disappeared. I then had to fly home and figure out what was going on with my project. What seemed to be a trip of just 4 days ended up being a trip of a month and a half. I had built a team of about 15 agents at the time, and I was coaching them from a Starbucks in the middle of Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, while also being a general contractor for my flip that I was embarking on in New Jersey. And I looked in the mirror and was like, God, this is too heavy. It's a lot. How am I being burdened? I thought of it as a burden. How am I being burdened with both of these huge commitments that I honestly thought I was going to go bankrupt over? I was living check to check. I didn't know how to get myself out of this hole, but by the good grace of God, I was surfacing. I wasn't thriving. I was surfacing. But what I realized, I was not leaning on him. I was not leaning on him for prayer. I was very frustrated. I was angry. I was drinking. I was doing everything but looking for him for answers, looking to him to guide me through what I thought was going to be the end of my real estate career, the demise of the progress that I had made. But while in New Jersey, I started to attend church. I started to get grounded. I started to look for God for solutions. I gave up drinking and I sacrificed and I committed to not doing and being more of him and being a demonstration of his love. And I started to try to change my perspective and think, instead of thinking, why me? Why am I going through this? Why not me? I started to look at every angle that I was dealing with as a challenge that I was being offered so that I can become a wiser, more profound, more efficient, more skill leveled human being. And despite everything and despite all of the challenges, I knew that God had a bigger plan and a bigger purpose for my life, and that I couldn't just allow these situations to be the end. So I pushed through, I persevered. Despite my financial challenges, I began to tithe. I began to just committing and honoring Him. I gave up drinking for most of all of 2023. I just put my head down, prayed, and little by little, the transactions started flowing in. The team members were pouring in and they were opening escrow. I was opening escrow. What seemed like a funnel for disaster ended up being so fruitful. We had an amazing year that year because I think I committed to I disciplined myself to believing God's plan for my life and honoring Him in all the ways that I could possibly do that by attending church weekly, by tithing, by keeping Him at the center of my business plan, and by not drinking. I was able to do my transactions and service my people at the highest capacity. We finished remodeling that house. We were able to put it on the market just in time for summer. I had an amazing revenue year on Airbnb in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It's a cute little beach bungalow, about 7 minutes from the beach. And I made a lot of what I invested into that home back in just those 3 months in summer. And I had a pivotal, life changing year. EXP has this award called the Icon Award, one of the most prestigious awards that an agent can earn at the company. And by the good grace of God, I was the recipient of that award in 2023. Only top 10% of the company typically can earn that award, and I was one of them. I was in disbelief at all of the blessings and all of the pathways and all the doors that had opened up for me that year when I put my head down and I disciplined my lifestyle to what God had intended for me. And today, I just want to tell you guys, if you feel stuck in a situation that you can't get out of or you can't get your head above water, I challenge you to really just get closer to God, become more disciplined in your day-to-day activities, become more aligned with His purpose and His vision that He has for you. Find a community that you can lean in so that you can feel empowered and encouraged, and continue to push forward by keeping God at the center of it all. And although it may seem far away, trust me, when you reach it, you'll look back and see how every struggle shaped you into who you are meant to be. If you're in a season where you're feeling overwhelmed, like life has piled more on you than you can bear, I want you to know that you're not alone. Those moments where we feel broken are often the moments that God uses to build us for something greater. Take one step at a time. Sometimes surviving the day is the victory, and that's okay. Lean on God when life feels impossible. Pray, tithe, trust His plan, even when it doesn't make sense in the moment. Thank you for taking the time to join me on this deep personal experience, guys. Next time, we will probably bring on a guest speaker to share their journey and their testimony on how keeping God at the center of their business plan has changed their perspective and has made them the successful entrepreneur that they are today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.